All right, Shalom Malcolm starts the lesson. I give all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Makakodash. Double ones to our apostles and elders of great mills, not the hardest of truth. Peace and blessings to the sincere Alchems. And that's your brother Uriah Ariah from the Great Millstone Miami camp. And I come back to the spirit part of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to teach you the lesson, or well, to get into the spiritual rant. And while I was thinking at work, about how the Lord always chooses the meek, and how the Lord's always nigh unto the meek. The meek goes into the prophets, the men, that are sighing and crying for the abomination that's done in the midst thereof. He always chooses the underdogs, the people that nobody would have thought, and that's ultimately why, the Lord is so merciful too, because the Lord is choosing men that were once in your neighborhoods, that once used to do the things that you used to do. Men that were, not very looked up to, in the world, or some men that were looked up to in the world, but always had probably an underdog status, or not really, how can I say, not really noticeable. The Lord chooses those type of men, to bring out his word, and to go with that, also I was thinking of too, how they be like, oh, you're not a pastor, you don't learn this, but the Lord is not dealing with these pastors. He got men that used to smoke weed, men that used to commit adultery, but men that used to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, that gave those things away, so that way now, now there's no cloak for your sins, and then you have no excuse. Because Jake would love to say, well, I didn't know this, but here it is. The Lord could have chose your best friend over the guy you was probably doing wickedness with, and then they turn to the Lord, and now look, that's also the Lord being blameless, man, and having mercy. Because we were once in this world, we were once Christians. We want you to celebrate all these holidays. But us turning back to Yahweh Shema Shai, we stop, we put away those things. People like to look at us like, now look at us like, we just men with dresses. People that just be talking and stuff like that. No, man. We are the prophets that are, on the scene today, man. The true biblical teachers of the Bible. The men that you once went to school with. The men that you once used to clown, the men that probably had stuff in this world, but they, men that probably had riches in this world, but probably gave it away, could have been superstars, but, but probably gave it, for a second for Yahweh Shema Shai, for Yahweh Shema Shai's sake, and then you call them fools for that? No, man. Those are the men that the Lord chooses. Because you proud 2/3, y'all ain't gonna never get it. So that 1/3, they gonna get it, man. They gonna understand. They gonna receive, the word of Yahweh Shema Shai. And they might hear from somebody that used to once do something that they used to do. And that's ultimately beneficial, to helping to help preach the word, man. Because you got men, that once used to do the stuff that you once used to do, worldly activities, so that they can relate to certain things. They can if they're talking to someone, they be like, yeah, I used to do that, but I turned away. That's the Lord making himself blameless. He's choosing somebody that was probably right next to you in the world, and converting them to the scriptures, and this truth. So that when somebody else tries to come with the excuse of saying, it's hard, it's like that, the brother can automatically say, no, man, it's not. I was once in your shoes, sort of say. The Lord chose all different type of men from every different walks of life. Rich, poor, famous, almost famous, dealing with celebrities, all these type of men, to come back to the scriptures. So that when they preach in the world and they run across somebody that was similar to them, or had the same, worldly, not lust, but worldly, gain as them, they can't say, well, I got this and I got that. They can automatically look at themselves and examine themselves about how the Lord, saved them from all the things that the person probably had, they can say, I used to smoke weed, I used to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, man. But you gotta turn away from that. Those things are not beneficial for your body, for your mind, for your spirit. That's ultimately the Lord showing mercy. The Lord showing you mercy by bringing somebody that you once knew, amongst you. That most likely, when they started coming into the truth, they probably told you about the truth, and to turn back to the Lord, because you probably done heard it from your cousin, your brother, your family, everybody done heard, that they're Israelite, because once you come into the truth, once you turn away from all your wickedness, and coming back to Yahweh Shema Shai, Jay got that, that zeal to tell everybody, man, to try to save everybody around them. And with them doing that, people start looking at us crazy. Start thinking that we're fools because we once had all these things in the world, but now we done forsaken for Yahweh Shema Shai's sake. And to roughly paraphrase the scripture, the scripture say, don't put your don't put your mind on this place, man. Lay your treasures up in heaven, man. Where moth and rust does not corrupt. Roughly paraphrasing it, man. But let me grab it. On the spiritual rant. This is Matthew 6 and verse 19. It says, "Lay not up yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust nor doth corrupt, where thieves will not break and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And that's right, man. We done laid our treasures up in the heavens, man. Understanding that salvation is coming. Understanding that this place just brings death, confusion. So we change from those ways. And we change from those ways, and we use how we change in our walk in this truth, to bring brothers into or to relate to other brothers' stories, man. The brother probably was dealing with something that you was dealing with, but you can use your life experience to aid that brother, to bring him back into this, bring him low when he of the elect, first and foremost, to help that brother understand, That's why you got different type of brothers that battle certain things, or turn back to the Lord dealing with one thing, in the world, and they turn back to the Lord, and they change themselves. Now, when they run across a certain individual that's similar to the situation, they can aid them. That's the Lord showing His mercy, and ultimately the Lord being, blameless. Because he done chose somebody that was similar to you, doing the same thing as you, to turn back to Him. So what is your excuse? You should have no excuse to turn back to the Lord. Jake, you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you should have no excuse. We were once in the world. Scripture said that He done called us out of this darkness, which is the darkness of this place, Babylon the Great, which is America. Called us out of this darkness. Scripture said that it's the valley of death. Valley of the shadow of death. Call us out of this darkness into this marvelous light, which is His truth, this knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, man. Because having your mind fluctuated in Babylon does not help you. In the long term, you're still under the curses. You still got to pay bills. You still got to go to work. But needless to say, the Lord called us out of, the Lord called us out of the darkness of Babylon, the waves of Babylon, into this truth. You know what I'm saying? So that we can relate certain things that we went through, to other brothers that's coming into the truth. The Lord ultimately making himself 100% blameless. So that when famine and affliction and all these things come up to you, you can't say that, it was impossible. He didn't have men that thought it was impossible that made it possible, man. You see how the Lord works. He's not giving you no room to make mistakes. Well, no, Salakia. Salakia, that's the slip of the tongue. Now, he's not giving you no room, to say that you didn't hear or you couldn't do it. Because you had many brothers that had the same walk as you that did it, man. And so the Lord want to use edify in the spiritual rant. The Lord always chooses the underdogs, and other men, that had different walks of life to come into this truth, man. And the Lord ultimately does that to make himself blameless, from blameless, in these times to come. So that you can't say that, you didn't, you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. So Lord want to use edified, with the spiritual rant, with that I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of great millstone that taught me this truth. Peace and blessings to sincere alchemists. With that, I want to say Shalom.